Hello. Don't know if anyone's here yet. I'm probably gonna. Oh, there is no drama to be had though. Like, but that answers that question. Apparently, people are here, so shout out to that one. But I really don't think that there is a lot of drama to be had. I am just confusion. I am the nice little Asian lady who is confused because I I take it back. I wish I could be confused because it honestly makes sense to me, but whatever. I think I'm more confused that people seem to have like not remembered what went down in February because I don't follow anybody on book Twitter. Like I follow like 200 accounts on Twitter just overall, and a good half of those are just like regular celebrities, showrunners, like people that I'm interested in who have nothing to do with books. And so I feel like when I see bookish things go down on the timeline, that everyone sees bookish things go down on the timeline. And so the fact that there was a good like five people who seemed to be confused as to what I was talking about, I think that is what I'm really confused about. And so apparently people don't remember what it was February, right, Mina? It was like the last day of February when you were like this Charlie person. Her stuff looks the same. Like not adding anybody, not going out of your way. Like it was the vaguest tweet possible. And yet you had Charlie lock their account. Allegedly, they went on like a tweet spree talking about how they were being attacked. Jay Kristoff wanted to pop in, calling people talentless, like for the most vague tweet possible. Like the vaguest, like your art kind of looks like the other art. Like, like I don't know. I was confusion. Like that seems to be like the nuclear response to just your faces kind of look the same. Like that's a pretty innocent critique. I'm not an artist, right? Like I'm not, but I think that even authors, like people on BookTube are constantly like your books all kind of sound the same. Your characters are all kind of similar. So for an artist to be like, I'm gonna block people who are responding to this tweet, and this well-known author's gonna talk about how people are talentless, like that just seems to be the nuclear reaction. And so when I what was this? See, I had to get someone to remind me because okay, you must be following the book Twitter people. I don't, and so I guess I kind of see like the fallout of things, but very rarely do I see like the initial thing and the fallout. So because I saw Mina's tweet and then Mina getting blocked and called untalented because she dared to say the faces are similar, like that's just wild. Over 30 years old and feeling hurt because you draw the same face. Thank you. This. So yesterday I was watching Alexa Dunn's channel because I like Alexa Dunn. I am one of her 60,000 subscribers. She almost has 70,000 subscribers, which I think is important because I don't know what Mina's stats are on Twitter, but I can tell you I am 100% confident in saying Mina does not have 70,000 Twitter followers. I'm gonna go out on that limb. I'm gonna say Mina does not have 70,000 Twitter followers. So I was watching Alexa Dunn's video yesterday, 5 cover trends she hates in YA, or she's kind of over. I don't know if she actually hates these things. I don't know if that's the title, but she's over these 5 trends. And she wasn't specific about books, about any of the 5 things. All of her 5 things, I feel, were similarly vague to how Mina's tweet was phrased 2-3 months ago. You had 500 followers. You had 5. Okay, so I was correct in being confident you did not have 70,000. So 500 Twitter followers for Mina, and we had Jay Kristoff, Charlie Locke in the account, nuclear apocalypse. I had sides of book aesthetic Twitter I'd never heard of. People coming all out of the woodwork to drag her. for saying the faces are similar. So yesterday I'm sitting down, I'm enjoying my life, watching Alexa's video, which again, similarly vague. And I think the way that Alexa phrased this particular trend was publishing gets the same 2 or 3 illustrators, but really just one. And all of their stuff looks the same. So even though Alexa doesn't say Charlie's first name and excludes the last name, I feel like of cover artists that people in the bookish community are going to be aware of that do illustrated covers, if you're saying there's only one and they all look the same, how is that any different than Mina's tweet? But if you go to Alexa's video and you scroll through the comments, which I didn't read every comment because it's not my channel, I'm not invested. It's all like, oh, Sassy Alexa is my favorite Alexa. Oh, you're bringing the good stuff today. Or it's people talking about cover trends that they do. Like, there's nothing, like, there's no backlash. Like, people, I haven't seen anyone on book Twitter ask, like, no one's dragging Alexa Dunn, who was a published author. Like, no one is doing these things. And yet when Mina, with her 500 followers, dared to say that these faces were the same, what? I mean, I guess it's on Twitter and it was easier to tag Charlie than in like a random YouTube video. But I feel like people make random YouTube videos all the time, and then we come onto Twitter and they're getting dragged for it. So like I was blown away. Like, where are we not dragging Alexa? Like, I'm not advocating for that. I think Alexa is probably a fine human being. I didn't personally enjoy her debut book, but I think it has decent reviews. I think her follow-up has decent reviews. People seem to like her. She has a following. She has subscribers. It's not like she's sitting at 0. So I'm just confused. I'm genuinely confused as to how again, I'm not really that confused. But I just think that it's such a shocking disparity that even in her own comment section, even if we weren't taking it to Twitter, like even in the comment section, like people weren't defending Charlie, because people seemed real on Twitter. They seemed really invested in defending Charlie's rights. Like, don't understand it. It's not like her art is bad, but we've seen the face, Charlie. We've seen your faces. Like, we get it. Okay, let's catch up with these comments. I probably won't be here very long, because that's all there is to say, is that it's literally the same comment, and Mina was dragged and blocked and called talentless, and Alexa is getting called sassy and praised in her comment section. So let's scroll back up. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. I followed the author who were in question, and the video made me, yeah, like, it was, like, I think most people who watch AuthorTube, like, I could understand if it was like a smaller AuthorTuber, but I think that of AuthorTubers, there aren't that many that have as many subscribers as Alexa. So when I said popular, I thought that it would be very obvious, especially when I said they uploaded the video today. So even if you were just to like scroll through like a YouTube search of AuthorTubers, I feel like just because of her popularity, it would have been, I thought it was easy to follow. I thought, last night I even tweeted, before I decided to go live today, that one, Guru Gossiper is free, and I know that they were tracking the Mina situation. So that, coupled with today an AuthorTuber uploaded a video about covers, I thought it would be really easy for people. But even when I woke up today, people were questioning, like, what's going on here? I mean, apparently Jerry Kristoff also has some other things in his closet about him attacking other minority bloggers. I don't know anything about that. I can't comment there. I read Illuminate and Gemina by that man, and of course Amy Kaufman, but I didn't like it. So I don't follow his career. I don't follow what he'd be up to. But apparently it wasn't even the first time he'd been responsible for the harassment of a minority person in the bookish community. I read that comment. That was Mina. I read that one. I got to back up 2 minutes. Let's see here. Mina was telling the truth because the face, obviously, because we have a whole video about it now. I read that one. I read the 500. Yeah, I didn't read that many comments, but I'm not surprised. Again, there aren't very many cover artists that the general bookish community knows about. Charlie Bowater does work for a lot of them, like a lot of fantasy covers she is involved in, or like promotional material she's involved in. It's not that this person isn't talented. If they weren't talented, they wouldn't keep getting booked. But there aren't very many of them that I think regular people in the bookish community could name. I can only name Charlie. And I know that the person who does Mary H.K. Choi's covers, they did both of them. So I guess if I looked at them, I would probably be able to recognize it. But that person isn't out here doing, all of these things. It really is the white fragility. Really, truly, truly is. That's the only reason to respond the way that Charlie and Jay did. Yeah, I don't think that, again, like, could I be wrong? Could Alexa have been talking about someone who wasn't Charlie? Possibly, but I doubt it. I truly, truly doubt that that's what was happening here. There's a constant trend of Twitter jumping on Black women. Yeah, that's just a trend in social media in general. Like, I think that they are often attacked for really no reason at all. Nothing, but yeah. People don't keep the same energy, and we all know. You said it, and I'm going to agree with it. Faces, bravery. Charlie really does have like one or two faces. I think that they just all look similar. They're all in the same genre. It's not like Charlie's being asked to do like a fantasy cover and then like a contemporary cover and then like maybe a sci-fi cover. So I think that that's already like you're shooting fish in the same barrel. Like, and again, I understand that if I was an artist, right, and publishing kept coming to me and asking me to do work, I'm not going to turn them down. I'm not. Like, I understand that as an artist, you're going to have a certain style, but I do in some ways blame publishing more than I blame the person they keep commissioning. But I would just own it. Be like, yeah, they do. And you know what? They keep coming to me. Like, maybe you could be using it to like amplify some of your artist friends. I don't follow them like that. I don't know if they are doing that. I don't know how they're living their life, but they're all very similar. Alexa also knows one thing with Mina because she liked my comment about hopping on. Oh, wow. I didn't know that, but the more you know. Guru Gossiper, yes, you were mentioned. I don't know how extensively they talked about it in the book Twitter thread, but I definitely remember seeing it on there. That's why I was that's why I was genuinely confused, because not only did I see the whole thing like play out and happen in front of me, but I'm like, Guru Gossiper talked about it. Like, it's not like this was a small thing that happened in like my tiny corner of the internet where I'd be like, okay, I get it. But like, it was a big thing. Like, even fucking Charlie Bowater had like 50,000 followers. Like, these aren't small people who were talking about these things. Like, it wasn't like a major event. It was like a seismic shifting. It wasn't like, I don't know, like the happy booktuber being homophobic or whatever, or like that little girl in her kimono talking about how diversity is whack. Like, it was a thing. Like, it happened, and I thought people knew. That's why I was genuinely confused and was like, you can go on Guru Gossiper, like you can go on YouTube and see the popular author-tuber who uploaded a book cover video today. Like, the puzzle pieces are all there. And I didn't think I needed to come here and talk about it. My thing is Jay Kristoff coming for anyone, but I don't know. I don't think Jay Kristoff is particularly talented himself. I think that if you are co-authoring a book and the book is still garbage and you're reusing plot points from the first co-written book you wrote in the series, then I'm not going to take suggestions from you. Like, I'm just not going to. But people like him. He has a following. He has fans. People ride or die for this man. So obviously they see something that I don't. But and none of the Illuminate and Gemina both don't really have problematic aspects that I found to call out, but I just don't think this man can take criticism very well, and so I'm not surprised that he would jump into a situation involving someone that he is friends with without kind of having full information and just being a mess himself. TBH, YA has a problem with covers in general. Covers are basically copy and paste half the time. And that was another point of Alexa's video. She said that, you know, another trend she doesn't like is that some of them just look cheap and that they ride the trend into the ground. And I think that that's valid. I think that I'm not a cover artist. Graphic design is clearly not my passion if you look at any of my thumbnails. But I mean, I'm also like, when a cover is really good, I like that it's really good, but I'm also just happy to bash on a bad cover. But I think that it's easy. I think it's the same thing that they do with the content of the book. They're like, oh, this content really worked out. And so then they kind of like rush to fast track all of, I don't know, the dystopian books they have or all of the mermaid books that they have. And so we get just like massive influxes of these things. And I think that's just the same thing is true with a cover. They're like, oh, those illustrated covers are flying off the shelf. Let's do it. Oh, those Charlie covers are flying off the shelf. Let's get Charlie again. Like, I don't think that there's a lot of innovation happening here, but it's also not something that I'm all that invested in and not invested in, but I'm not knowledgeable enough in to really critique it that way. So yeah, I do think that was another point of Alexa's video. Let's see here. The anti-traditional threat scandal, cultural appropriation, etc. Not surprised. I'm assuming that has something to do with Jay Kristoff. Okay. That's what I said, is publishing and the lack of diverse projects. Yeah, like, but I also think that Charlie didn't really illustrate either of the half Persian characters all that well for the promotional art. And I know that there was also the artist who was asked to like whitewash all the stars and teeth. I guess one of those characters is like black or whatever, or not black, but they have darker skin. And all the promo art, they're like very fair. So I think that even when publishing is like they're given a diverse character to illustrate, they still fuck it up. So in that respect, I'm gonna call Charlie out. Like if Cordelia is meant to be tan skin and the artwork in my copy, she's like, they got the brown crown and just colored over her European features with the brown crown. But I think that that's also a problem. Like I shouldn't, like all of the artwork for these diverse characters should be the same. So when I'm reading the book or I'm looking at the character art or the art that's included in the book, they should all remind me of the same person, right? Like they should all be the same shade of brown. I shouldn't see 3 different shades of brown. So in some respects, sure, Charlie, you can draw the same face on whatever you want to, but if the person is a brown half Persian character, they should look brown. I think that Homegirl looked yellow in all of the character cards I saw. Her brother, I don't think got a character card, so I don't know if he was also whitewashed. But again, like, publishing is just fucked up. Like, no one is surprised by that one. Yeah, I think it has less to do with Charlie's fault. After the popularity of ACOTAR, they hired her more because they wanted to replicate that series' success. Oh, is that the person who did those illustrated covers? I couldn't tell you. I think those covers are actually really ugly. So if that was what got her in like the business, good for her. But I think those covers are ugly. Yeah, I don't think it's exclusively Charlie's fault. Like I understand, and if I were Charlie, I'm not gonna sit here and like turn down a gig. I don't know what her situation is like. I don't know what her side hustles are. Like I respect her for doing whatever, or them. I don't know what their pronouns are. I respect Charlie for doing what Charlie needs to do to pay the bills and live their life. But I do think that at least exclusively when it comes to Cordelia, I think that there were missteps made aside from some of those characters that they drew for the promotional art looking like other characters they'd already drawn. I think that specifically there, whether they were asked to whitewash by the publisher or they didn't get. I mean, I understand like it's not reasonable for them to have like read all of the book before they draw these things. But I'm pretty like you get like a rundown, right? Like you understand like hair color, eye color, I would hope skin color. Like I that's all I gotta say, really. I'm sure there are a bunch of amazing like POC illustrators, and I think that was again like one of the issues that Alexa was having was like, I don't mind these fantasy covers having illustrations that are more photorealistic or whatever, but you keep getting the same person and they all kind of look the same. Because even if you can draw, 10 different faces, if you're being asked and being commissioned to do cover art and promotional art for 20 different books, like at some point, and it's not even just, you got 20 different books, but publishing is still publishing the same. 15 of those books are going to have very similarly looking characters. So even if you could, pull on your artist experience, like it's going to be more than just the artist at fault here. Like it just basically, like it couldn't possibly just be them. But I don't think publishing is really looking for POC illustrators. But again, I'm also not someone that looks at who is doing the cover of a book. So again, when you're saying that these things all look the same, we're all going to be thinking of the same person. And I think that it's a little messed up that Mina had to be, thrown to the internet wolves and Alexa's getting praise in her comments. Like that's the part that really bothered me. The publishing industry never wants to try anything new, like Alexa said, once they find a Kentucky Derby. Yeah, see, and I agree with that. I think that's valid. Also, hello, happy you could make it. I'm probably going to be wrapping things up here in like 10 minutes, because I think 30 minutes is really all we need to talk about before I start just talking in circles. But back to this. I think that was another point in the video. I think that that's very true. I think that's why we get a lot of the books that we get and why a lot of the characters that are in those books look the way they do. Like, again, I don't really have anything to add there, really. Like, I agree. I think that was a valid point. And I think that it's just annoying that Alexa could make the point 2 months. I mean, I'm sure this is something that gets brought up a lot. Like, I don't think this was particularly, like, no one had ever thought these things before. But I think that it is annoying that when Mina voiced the same thought, the same opinion, the same thing, she was blocked and attacked by these prominent people. And Alexa can say these things, and I don't think. I mean, maybe she has been blocked by Charlie. I don't know. Maybe Jay Kristoff, because Alexa's an author, was in her DMs like, "How dare you?" Like, I don't know. Like, do I believe that's what happened? Not really. Do I want that to happen? Not really. I think that you should be able to voice a cover trend that you don't like or point out an observation about something and not have people come for you. But I think that should be true for everyone. And that clearly wasn't true for Mina. So while I don't want Alexa to be attacked over this, I think that like we literally just finished having this. And this is another thing I was talking about on Twitter. Like we have like the same conversations just on repeat. And this was a really short one where we literally just had the conversation 2 months ago about literally the same person. And here we are 2 months later, bringing up the same person and the same conversation. Nothing is added to it. So if we could just evolve just a tiny bit, and have a conversation, I guess about the same thing, but like maybe different, I would appreciate it. I think that, variety is the spice of life. And so I would appreciate some variety in the kind of conversations that we have. And I say that fully cognizant of the fact that tomorrow I'll be live again to talk about adaptations, which is another one of those 3 conversations that we have. So that'll be fun. Tomorrow's stream will probably be longer than 30 minutes because I feel like there'll be more for us to talk about. So You can come to that if you are available. I'll be here for another 5 minutes. If anyone else is confused about anything, if you have any questions, concerns, now is going to be the time to leave them in the comments, because I'm probably going to go and mute the original tweet when I'm done here, because we've laid it out. And if you're still confused, like I said, Guru Gossiper, make that your friend. It's a horrible website. It's a terrible website. And I think that people who use it regularly often don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But I would say Google is free, but if you just Google, I don't think it's really going to pop up. So it might be the devil, but sometimes you gotta go there. Not seeing anything new. I guess I could check my phone, but it's way on the other side of the room. Because sometimes StreamYard is weird and the comments come through late and then I feel bad. But let's see. I guess I can go to the actual stream, make sure I'm not missing a comment, because it's been like 5 minutes and I haven't seen anything new come through. And if nothing is coming through, then I can just end this a little bit early. Let's see here. Come on, load. I mean, also I know there's like a delay, so I guess there could be that, but I don't think the delay is 5 minutes. No, nothing new. Oh, that's top chat. Let me turn it to live chat, because maybe, you never know. I would hate to. Okay, no, still nothing new. But thanks for coming out. Thanks for being here. Thanks for participating in the discussion. I'm happy that we could all be here together. Like I said, I will be back again tomorrow, probably for an hour, so we can have a nice meaty discussion on adaptations, continuations. 2020 has certainly been the year for both of those things, so I think that there'll be plenty of things to talk about that I haven't fully gone into. But I'm going to go now. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Stay safe out there. Tweet responsibly. And that's all I got. Make sure you stay hydrated too. That's important. If you don't, then, you might regret that. So, bye.